Today we're going to start 7-3. This is solving equations with variables on both sides. Now this is a little bit different than 7-2. There's only really one major difference, and that is having a term with a variable on both sides of the equal sign. So here's some steps that you can follow through. The very first thing that you want to do is you want to locate the numbers or the terms that have the variables. You want to get them on one side of the equal sign. Now it doesn't matter, it can be on the left side, it can be on the right side. Sometimes it's pretty obvious as to which side you want to move it to, sometimes maybe not. In this particular example, what I want to do is I want to take this 2x, I want to take the smaller of the two terms, and I want to get rid of that. And what that'll do is that'll allow me to keep the variable being positive. So if I bring this over onto this side, I'm going to be left with a 3, and then 3 minus 2 is 1x, or just x, and then you can just switch those around, you get x equals 3. So you may be wondering, well, what if I didn't do that? What if I actually got rid of the 3x and brought it over here? Well, you can do that. No problem with doing that. The only thing now is this becomes a negative x plus 3, and then when you got rid of this on the right hand side of the equal sign, you essentially made it equal to 0. Perfectly fine. Now you just have to do just a little bit more work than what we did over here. You're going to have to subtract 3 from both sides. So you end up with a negative x minus 3, and then we don't want a negative x, so you can divide that both by negative 1, and you end up with x equals 3, which is what we ended up with the first problem that we did. So either way that you do it, you're going to end up with the same answer. But if you ever see a term with the variable all by itself, bring the other side, the other term from the other side over. And then that'll eliminate you getting a 0 on that side. So the next example, I have a 3v and I have an 8v. So out of those two, the 3 is smaller than the 8, so I'm going to take this 3 and I'm going to bring it over to the other side. Now to bring it over to the other side, well, why'd I put an x? Put a v. The reason that I brought it over is because this is smaller, and I had to subtract it because it was a positive. So now that's eliminated. You have a negative 8 equals 7, and this is going to be 8 minus 3, so that'll be a 5. So now this is the same as what we did in 7-2, so you just have to subtract 7 from both sides and end up with negative 15 over here plus 5v. Final step is to divide both sides by 5, and I'll bring it over here, so they end up with v equals a negative 3. Moving on to the next example. This one's going to be a little bit different than the other ones because when you locate your variables, you'll notice that they're both the same, so one isn't smaller than the other one, so you can choose either one to get rid of. But when you do that, you get rid of one, you actually get rid of the other one. So you basically end up saying that 7 equals negative 3, which we know that cannot be true. 7 is never going to equal negative 3. So this particular problem has a no solution. So you just write no sol. In our last example here, we have a little bit more going on, but you're still going to follow your same rules that you followed in 7-2 and here in 7-3. So the first thing that you want to do, locate your variables. So on the left-hand side, you'll notice that you have 2 of them. Over on the right-hand side, you just have one variable, but you have 2 numbers. So it looks like we're going to have to do some combining first, so combine your like terms. Now remember, when you combine like terms, you can only combine like terms on the same side of the equal sign. So 2 minus 3 is going to give you a negative 1c. Then we have negative 9 plus 5, that'll be a negative 4. Now you can get your variables on one side. This is smaller, so I will add 1c to this side. That gets eliminated. So you have 1 plus 1. Now, if you want to put a 1 there, go ahead. So 1 plus 1 is 2. Excuse me. So you have 2c. Then we want to take this negative 4, bring it over here. So you're going to add 4 to both sides. So you're going to have 8 equals 2c. Divide both sides by 2. 8 divided by 2 is 4. Those 2's get canceled. You can just flip these around. You end up with c equals 4.